Welcome to Blissful Garden. In today's video, I'll share the secret to miraculously reviving an orchid that's nearly dead, turning it back into a vibrant, blooming plant. With just a few simple steps and familiar ingredients found right in your kitchen, your orchid will quickly recover. Before you are wilted, decaying orchids, at first glance, many might think this plant is beyond saving. But hold on, if you're growing orchids, this is a crucial point to consider. Here, you can see that the leaves are severely infected with bacteria and mold. The black fungal spots aren't just on the outside, they're eating away from the inside of the leaves, spreading to the top and bottom. So, when the disease progresses this way, if not treated promptly, the plant will wither very quickly. Many people just look at the leaves and discard the plant, but that's where the mistake lies. These orchids aren't necessarily dead. The key is understanding the cause to save them properly. To know if the plant can still be saved, we must examine the growing medium and root system. Now, I'll remove the growing medium so you can see for yourself. And here's the core reason. The growing medium was infected with mold and bacteria, which attacked and destroyed almost all of the orchid's roots. The roots rot, decay, and lose their ability to absorb water and nutrients. Wilting is inevitable. And now, I will guide you step by step from cleaning and treating the fungus and bacteria, two methods for reviving an orchid that seem beyond repair. First, we will proceed to trim all the damaged roots. Please pay close attention to this step, as root trimming is crucial to the plant's survival. The roots above have been severely damaged by fungus. Leaving them intact will only perpetuate the disease, so they must be removed. If the roots are brown, soft, smelly, or hollow, cut them off immediately. Only keep the roots that are still firm, fresh, with a green or white core. This is the vital point for the plant. As long as the root collar is still alive, the plant still has a chance to revive. After removing the damaged roots, I will set the orchid aside to further examine the root collar. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to support me and so you don't miss any orchid care tips. It's great to have you as a companion on this journey. If only 2 to 3 healthy roots remain, we can completely save this orchid. Look closely here. Orchids don't need many roots to revive. They only need living roots. As long as the roots are healthy, the plant can still absorb water, stimulate new root growth, and regenerate. This is why you shouldn't discard the plant without thoroughly checking the root system. After this step, we have clearly separated the roots from the leaves that can still root. In the next section, I will guide you on how to treat the plant to stimulate quick and safe recovery, preventing reinfection with fungus. Next, we will thoroughly clean the orchid with clean water. This is a mandatory step and must not be done carelessly, as the goal is to completely remove any remaining pathogens after pruning. Remember to do it slowly and carefully, avoiding strong rinsing to prevent damage to any living roots. Besides English, we now have voiceovers in French, German, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Hindi, and Indonesian, to help you understand the content more easily. Listen in your preferred language by opening the video and clicking on the settings gear icon to select the appropriate audio language. The clean water will wash away fungi, bacteria, and disease spores clinging to the plant's surface. Following this method correctly, the orchid will recover much faster because we have completely cut off the source of infection. And that completes the cleaning process. In the next section, I will guide you through the process of stimulating new root growth, helping the plant quickly stabilize and return to its normal growth cycle. Next, we'll prepare a clean container. For this step, I'm using cinnamon powder, an extremely simple yet highly effective. ingredient for antibacterial and antifungal properties in orchids. I only need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Next, we'll add about 500 milliliters of boiling water to the prepared cinnamon powder. Boiling water is crucial, as it helps extract the maximum amount of antibacterial and antifungal properties from the cinnamon, rather than just dissolving it. Then, I stir well to ensure the cinnamon powder dissolves completely in the water. Next, cover the container and let it sit for about an hour in a cool, shaded place. After 1 hour of incubation, you can see that the cinnamon water has been completely extracted. The antibacterial and antifungal properties have permeated and dissolved into the water, forming a homogeneous liquid solution with a mild, non-pungent cinnamon scent. This is the standard nutrient solution for orchids. Next, I will take a clean container, place a sieve or filter cloth on top, and filter out all the sediment. This step is very important, because if any sediment remains, it can easily clog the stomata trap roots and slow down the orchid's recovery. Only the clear, pure water is retained. This is the most essential and safe part for caring for the orchid. Moving on to the next step. This is extremely important, so don't be careless. First, I take a clean container and pour all the cinnamon water we just prepared into it. Once the water is ready, the entire orchid root system will be immersed, allowing the cinnamon solution to directly affect the roots and root collar. The areas where fungal diseases most commonly develop. Next, don't forget the leaves. I use a soft cotton ball, soak it evenly with cinnamon water, and gently wipe each orchid leaf. This method helps remove dirt, bacteria, and mold clinging to the leaf surface, while also reducing the risk of disease recurrence after recovery. After wiping, you'll see that the leaves are cleaner, shinier, and noticeably fresher. After cleaning the leaves, we continue to immerse the orchid root and root collar in the cinnamon water, ensuring the solution covers the areas that need disinfection. The ideal soaking time is 30 minutes to allow the orchid to absorb enough nutrients. After soaking for the required time, gently remove the orchid from the solution, avoiding scratching the roots and root collar. At this point, the plant is almost completely disinfected. At this stage, we can confirm that our orchid has been safely cleaned of bacteria and fungi, creating a very good foundation for the subsequent recovery process. After processing, we place the orchid outside and immediately disinfect the wounds with pure cinnamon powder. Cinnamon powder not only has strong antibacterial and antifungal properties, but also helps to seal the cuts, preventing rot and cross-infection. I sprinkle cinnamon powder directly on all the areas where the roots and leaves were cut, ensuring no wounds are missed. Which country are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments. It's wonderful that we can connect and chat with each other from all over the world. At this point, the orchid has been completely disinfected and the wounds are safely protected. Afterward, we place the orchid in a well-ventilated area to allow the wounds to dry naturally. Absolutely do not replant it immediately. Once the cuts are completely dry, the orchid will be ready for replanting, at which point the chances of recovery will be much higher. I prepare a clean glass container, preferably a transparent one for easy observation of humidity and root development later on. Then, cut a piece of foam to fit snugly into the bottom of the container. The purpose of this foam is to maintain stable humidity, creating a continuously moist environment for the orchid's roots to regenerate, but without causing water. I use clean filtered water and pour it into the container, but note very importantly, only pour enough water to just cover the bottom of the sponge. Absolutely do not let the sponge get completely submerged. After preparation, place the orchid leaves in the container. Place the orchid so that the base rests directly on the surface of the sponge, not touching the water and not getting soaked. I use a plastic cap with ventilation holes. These holes allow oxygen circulation, preventing stuffiness while still ensuring the plant's safety. Then, I cover the entire orchid with the cap, creating a sealed but not suffocating protective layer. The purpose of this cap is to prevent bacteria, mold, and insects from entering, especially during the plant's weak stage when its roots are not yet stable. After completion, place the orchid in a shady, well-ventilated area with gentle light. Absolutely avoid direct sunlight, as the plant is not yet strong enough to withstand heat and is very susceptible to shock and root damage. Check once a week. If you see the water level under the foam is low, simply add more clean water. Do not replace the entire layer. At this point, we inspect the orchid roots. You can see that all the wounds have dried, closed up, and healed completely. This is a mandatory condition before replanting. I use pots with many ventilation holes and good drainage, because orchids absolutely cannot tolerate water. Regarding the growing medium, I choose cleaned, treated pine bark. This type of growing medium is airy, retains just enough moisture, is environmentally friendly, and helps the orchid roots quickly establish themselves and grow healthy. When planting, gently place the roots in the correct direction without forcing or compressing them. Just secure the roots enough so the plant stands firmly, allowing the root space to breathe and develop naturally. So, we have completed the step of repotting the orchid. After securing the orchid's roots in the pot, I added a layer of shredded pine bark mixed with sphagnum moss to lightly cover the rim of the pot. This layer of moss is not meant to completely cover the roots, but only to maintain stable moisture, reduce shock to the young roots, and prevent excessive water loss in the initial stages. At this point, the planting process is complete. We will now move on to post-planting care. Next, we absolutely must not waste any of the remaining cinnamon solution. I will water the orchid roots directly after planting. Rest assured, the pine bark and moss substrate has been completely sterilized beforehand, so this step only serves to retain moisture, supplement nutrients, and stimulate faster root recovery. It won't harm the plant. Then, we move the plant to the garden. From this point onwards, every 3 days, I mist the substrate with clean water to maintain moisture. Next, I use a plastic pot with good drainage and ventilation holes, and place it upside down over the plant. I use butterfly clips to secure both sides, creating a miniature greenhouse. The purpose of this step is to prevent mold, bacteria, and insects from entering, while maintaining stable humidity for the plant during the initial period. Finally, place the orchid pot in a shady, well-ventilated location with gentle light, absolutely avoiding direct sunlight. After exactly 3 weeks, you can see the orchid is completely transformed. Upon removing the covering to inspect it, this is the result of proper, consistent, and dedicated care. The leaves retain their deep green color, are sturdy, and show no signs of weakness. Most importantly, the root system has begun to clearly grow, with healthy white new roots and green root tips, a sign that the plant has successfully revived itself. Next, we check the remaining roots planted in the growing medium. As you can see, the plant now has active roots, clinging to the rim of the pot and sprouting a beautiful green shoot. Just looking at this root system, we know for sure the plant has passed the critical stage and is entering a stable growth cycle. With perseverance, enthusiasm, and dedication to each step of care, an orchid that seemed destined to be discarded has come back to life. And now we will proceed to replant the orchid leaves and use a new type of fertilizer for our 2 orchid plants. Moving on to the next, and this is a crucial step. We will transplant the orchid to its permanent location so it can fully adapt to its natural environment. I used a pot with many drainage holes. This directly affects the health of the root system later on. Next, I placed the orchid in the pot and planted it using a substrate of shredded pine bark. Note, this substrate has been pre-treated to eliminate mold and bacteria, so it's completely safe for the plant during its recovery phase. I added a layer of moss on top to retain moisture. Finally, we place the orchid in the correct position in the pot, adjusting it so it stands firmly and the roots don't move. To be extra sure, I'll take a thin metal rod and bend it into a U. The purpose of this U-shaped frame is to secure the orchid's roots, preventing the plant from shifting in the pot before the roots are firmly attached to the growing medium. I gently place the orchid in the correct position, then pin the U-shaped frame down, supporting the roots closely. I will use a butterfly clip to gently secure the orchid leaves, keeping the plant from tilting or shaking in the pot. Once the leaves are securely fixed, the root system will not be pulled or damaged. At this point, I cover the roots with a thin layer of moss to maintain stable moisture and protect the young roots from scratches in the early stages. This is also the time to fertilize the roots, helping them actively seek nutrients, grow quickly and strongly, and firmly anchor themselves to the growing medium. Thus, we have completed the proper technique for preparing an orchid pot. Moving on to the next step, this is a crucial one that requires careful attention. I will prepare a clean container, then use coffee grounds, a natural ingredient with excellent antibacterial, antifungal, and growth-stimulating properties for orchids if used correctly. Just 1 teaspoon of coffee grounds. Next, I add it directly to about 500 milliliters of hot water, preferably freshly boiled water. High temperatures will help extract the maximum amount of beneficial active ingredients in the coffee, creating a safe nutrient solution for the orchid. I will stir the solution thoroughly to ensure the coffee grounds dissolve completely, allowing the active ingredients to be evenly distributed. Next, seal the container and let the solution rest, that is, let it steep naturally. The steeping time is approximately 1 hour. After exactly 1 hour of incubation, you will see that the coffee is completely dissolved. This is a crucial step. Do not use it immediately. Next, we proceed to filter out all the coffee grounds. These grounds are not used for orchids. Keeping them can easily cause root burn and fungal infections. After filtering, you will obtain a clean, light, and safe coffee solution that retains all the nutrients but does not harm the orchid roots. This is the standard coffee solution, ready for use in the next step of caring for and restoring the orchid plant. Next, add 500 milliliters of clean filtered water to the prepared solution. This step reduces the concentration, ensuring the solution is completely safe for orchid roots and leaves, especially for weak or newly recovering plants. Once the solution has stabilized, let it rest for a while before applying it to the orchid. Next, prepare a clean spray bottle and pour the prepared solution into it. If done correctly, you will see the orchid leaves revitalize, the roots begin to stir, and the plant visibly recover. Next, we proceed to directly spray all the orchids in the garden with this nutrient solution. Using it only twice a month is sufficient to stimulate root growth. promote rapid recovery, and maintain stable growth. No overuse is necessary. For regular care, every 3 days, we water and mist with clean filtered water. Spray evenly on the leaves, keeping the plant lightly moist, and water just enough at the base to ensure good root aeration. Next, prepare a separate watering can, then pour the properly diluted coffee nutrient solution into it. When watering, focus on watering the roots and growing medium directly, avoiding watering haphazardly. The purpose is to ensure the orchid's roots fully absorb the nutrients, thereby activating the process of leaf and root growth and restoring the plant's health from within. After watering evenly, place the entire orchid pot in the water to soak. This step is often overlooked but is extremely important. Soak for about 20 minutes, enough time for the growing medium to absorb enough water and nutrients, and for the orchid roots to absorb them deeply and evenly. After 20 minutes, remove the orchid pot and let it drain completely, ensuring it is absolutely not waterlogged. At this stage, the plant's placement determines 70% of its recovery. I always place orchids outdoors in the garden, in a shady, well-ventilated area with gentle light. For young orchids with weak roots, I cover them with a protective cap to retain moisture, limit bacteria, and help the plant grow faster. Regarding care, nutrients, twice a month, alternating regularly. On a daily basis, water and mist the orchid every 3 days with clean filtered water to help the leaves retain moisture, the roots breathe well, and the plant photosynthesize effectively. Following this procedure correctly, the orchid will not only revive but also become healthy from the root, with strong root growth, thick green leaves, and ready to enter the next stable growth phase. The results after the next month are very clear. The orchid has fully recovered and is growing vigorously. The plant is upright, the leaves are firm, and most importantly, a new shoot has emerged. This is the most important sign that the plant has overcome the critical stage and is beginning stable growth. Remarkably, plants that were once thought to be worthless and beyond repair are now growing evenly, healthily, and maturing very well. Now let's check the roots. The roots have spread strongly, the root tips are fresh and healthy, and many roots extend well out of the pot. New leaves continue to grow, proving that the root system is functioning effectively and absorbing nutrients well. With proper care, sufficient patience, and following the correct procedure, the orchid will revive itself in a very sustainable way. From a seemingly discarded plant, we now have 2 healthy orchid pots, strong roots, green leaves, and uniform growth. With continued consistent care, the plant will sprout abundant roots, its leaves will cover the garden, and in a short time, it will enter its flowering stage. At this stage, the plant is large and healthy, no longer needing a cover. Nutrients fertilizer once every 2 weeks, on regular days, water and mist with clean filtered water every 3 days to keep the leaves moist, stimulate root growth, and ensure stable photosynthesis. By following these instructions correctly, the orchid will not only be revived but will also grow strong, healthy, and ready for a truly deserving flowering season. I hope this video helps you better care for your orchids at home. If you find it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more simple and natural orchid care tips.